Welcome everybody to Tuesday Night Round 2. This is with David Rogers, flat earther from Facebook, who talks a big talk and runs a fast run. He runs so fast that he could beat Usain Bolt in any race ever. Now he's been talking smack on Facebook for a long time. I've got some screenshots that I'll share with you of the kind of talk that he's talked. It's the thumbnail to this, and we can pull up the actual. I've sent him the link. We'll see if he shows up. If he doesn't show up, we're gonna cover some of the stuff that he's done. But let me get a couple things worked out here. We want to get the live chat updated here. There we go. We've got the live chat there. And then we're going to get, so I have sent him a link to the Zoom call. So I'd watch that race. You'd watch that race. Well, I mean, he only figuratively beats Usain Bolt in running from debate. So let's see. I'm working on, I'm going to get this. That's not it. There we go. Let's get the correct one up here. That's not it. So I need to get the there it is. Okay. There it is. So here is him talking. This was, he's been talking for days, but he said yesterday, David Rogers, who has received a Zoom link from me to come and join right now, he said yesterday, McFictoon, that's his pet name for me. We got a thing. I call him his name, and he calls me that. Said, will never debate me. He doesn't have the intestinal fortitude to, but I am sitting right here, right now. I have sent Dave Rogers a link to come debate me. So who does not have the intestinal fortitude? I'm sitting here waiting right now. Dave is not. Then he claimed that I already lost, he thinks, a Facebook Messenger debate. Well, it's not actually possible to have a debate on Facebook Messenger. You can't have a debate with a flat earther by typing, because they'll demand evidence. You give them evidence, and then they won't look at it. You see, when you have them on screen and you present some evidence to them, the entire audience sees the evidence while you present it to them. And if they refused to look at it, then they look like a fool. Well, more of a fool than they already do, because they're a flat earther. So anyway, so then with a friend and is tag teaming two Glurfer Globers to one flat earther, and then claimed that I did so badly that my friend ghosted and fled. I don't know what he's talking about. David, you are welcome to have all of the screenshots of this supposed conversation posted. Just post them wherever. I'll be glad to have a look. I don't know how did you evaluate a win or lose? Typically what happens in these debates is I give evidence, they don't give evidence, and then somehow they think they win. It's definitely pigeon chess. Randy Leahy, am I to understand that you are trying to debate Mr. Rogers? That would presume that David Rogers is a Mr., and I think that's being significantly too generous. Anyway, so I said, okay, let's debate Tuesday, 10 p.m. Central Time. That's right now. I'll send you a Zoom link. I've done that already. Get your evidence for Flat Earth ready. He hasn't. He's not here. We know who lacks the intestinal fortitude. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get into that particular group. And I'm going to actually post. I'm actually going to post. Let's see here. Can I do this? I want to share my screen, but I don't want to share too much. So if I bring it up, if I share the screen, you all see everything. I don't want it to be sending anything that shouldn't be. All right. Well, there it is. All right. Let's have a look. Yeah, here. So here he is. That looks good. That looks good. So here is David. He did a post here. This is the kind of stuff that this flat earther posts. So he mostly the different flat earthers focus on different things that they misunderstand. He focuses mostly on misunderstanding gravity. He wants to know exactly what magical invisible force gravity is. Well, within our reference frame, gravity is mass attracting mass. This has been empirically confirmed many millions of times, thousands of times in high quality experiments. So that's what it is. So then he says, but all mass radiates a magical invisible force, gravity, in 360 degrees radius away from the mass. That's no, it doesn't radiate a force. There's a force that is the result of gravity. They say up, left, down, right, up. It's up, down, left, right, select start, ABBA, select start. But he gets it in the wrong order. He says up, left, down, right, and any direction in between. So this is what's funny. He thinks that somehow it violates the first law of thermodynamics. No kidding. He thinks that. Anyway, so allegedly more Earth mass exists below us than anywhere else. Well, of course, yeah. And this energy cord, it's not an energy cord, from Earth mass below is what ties us like a rubber band to Earth's surface. Well, yes, it's not a energy cord. That's fan fiction. Anyway, what happens is magic, invisible force. Well, let me just tell you, an invisible force like magnetism, for example, is also invisible. So you see my here. I'll show you. Look at this. This is my. Let me get it. Oh, hold on. Here we go. Bones. Oh, it's not bones. I'm kidding. You go, Jordy. We need more engine. Turn up the warp core. Anyway, so this is held on by a magnet. This was so let me show you. Here is a magnet. Here's another magnet on there. See that? There it is. There is a magic invisible force, according to David Rogers, that holds them together. And since there is there's a constant attraction between them, all the time radiating this energy cord of magnetism. You can't see it, yet it's constantly radiating this, and somehow according to David, this also violates the first law of thermodynamics somehow. Don't know how, but anyway, a magic invisible force was just demonstrated. We call it magnetism. It's not actually magical, but it is invisible. It is invisible. So we do have a Dave Rogers in the chat. Oh, look at that. Is that the Dave Rogers? Let's have a look here. Dave, I've sent you the link. So just pop in. So I don't know if it's him, but yes, it seems like it's him. Somebody's got that. Anyway, I mean, I just showed you magic invisible force. Not magic. So anyway, so all you need to do, Dave. Oh, it's a different Dave, says Sir Little Wolf. Dave's not here, man. Anyway, so yeah. Anyway, Dave, I maybe he'll watch this, maybe not. His mom might not give him permission. So anyway, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to I'm not going to go over this whole thing. It's ridiculous. I'm going to post the link in the chat there, in the group. So let's see here. I'm going to, there you go. But I'll have the waiting room. So people will have to I'm gonna check them as they come in. All right. So here it is. I'm gonna post for Dave. David Rogers. There it is. David Rogers. So anybody can come in. This Zoom link will expire after this the call in. So anybody can come in and we can just discuss Dave Rogers. There it is. So yeah, this is the stuff he posts. He likes this picture here. I don't know why he likes that cartoon so much. So then he posts, a false witness shall not be. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. He lies all the time. I don't know why he posted that. It's talking about him. So I don't know. So thousands of direct challenges. Define gravity. I did. Mass attracting mass. And so that's the thing. He constantly demands to define it, and then people define it like I did. And then he says, nuh-uh, he doesn't like it. That's the point of a debate. You don't agree on something in a debate. That's why you have the debate. You don't pre-agree on that thing, right? So if he doesn't like my explanation for gravity, then that would be one of the things that I would present in the debate. And then the viewers of the debate would evaluate whether they liked my explanation for it or they liked his explanation for why things are accelerating downward. Lacking him having any explanation for it would be very embarrassing for him. Yes, Andrew, you can. So if you send me a direct message, it'll pop up on screen right here. So anybody sending me a message will see, everybody will see the message coming through. So message me only if you're willing to have it come in. Anyway, Dave Rogers in the chat says boats disappear bottom up over the horizon. Well, that's true. So, all right. What are they, I got to catch up. What are they doing with this Dave Rogers in the chat? Nah, man, it's me, Dave. So I don't know what, anyway, Dave Rogers, if it is you, in fact, then just all you need to do is click the link I sent you in DM, or I posted it already in the Facebook group. So there you go. So we've got maybe, he checks out, says gravity exists. Yeah. Will I be having turkey on Thursday? I will. I am going to start my day by running a 5K. So one of my kids and my niece are running a 5K, an actual 5K race that's, you pay to enter and all that. And my wife and I were like, we should do that too, but we're just going to do it here. We're not going to go to where they are. We're going to run a 5K turkey day, turkey trot, they like to call it, where we live. And we're going to race against each other, myself versus my wife, and another one of my kids, trying to get all of them to run. My 19-year-old boy, I'm like, you're going down. And he's like, sure, Dad, sure. Anyway, yes. So, the question is, and I'll give you the answer. Can I run a 10-minute mile? The answer is no. Can I run a 13-minute mile? We'll see. I'm not fast at running. I don't mind running, but I'm not very fast at it. Okay, well, we've got Andrew Gregory coming in to join. But still no Dave. Dave's not here, man. Dave's not here, man. While Andrew is getting his stuff going, Burnham says, looking forward to seeing Toon open up a whole can of spectroscopy. Randomly Epic is a new member at Einstein. Janusz Takas is my favorite Pink song. Na 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 na. I need to actually have the song going in my head. to be able to say the nas at the right time, which it's not at the moment. So Dave Rogers, did you just see this and you're like, hold on a second, I'm going to come in here and set the record straight, but you're not the same Dave Rogers? You could tell you what, Dave Rogers, the not the same Dave Rogers, you could come in and you could defend your name while letting the other Dave Rogers be a complete, well, we shall come up with a name for him. Anyway, send me an email, Dave Rogers, mctoon@mctoon.net, and I'll send you back a link, and you can come on and you can protect your good name. So let's see. Did Andrew Gregory? Did you get connected? Hi,
Mike.
Hello. How are you?
Wow. I've never done this before.
Well, it's not all that it's not that big of a deal. Don't get too excited.
No, I'm just happy to be in presence of the great McToon.
Okay.
So this is like the second misguided person I've steered towards you and have run.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, his whole premise is defining gravity.
Yeah, he thinks that if you can't define it to his approval, that therefore it doesn't exist. Which is weird because how is he I don't think he denies magnetism exists, but the definition for it is going to be, kind of parallel to the definition for gravity. So I don't know.
I agree, and it's parallel to a lot of other phenomenon that exists in our realm.
A realm.
Well, not necessarily our realm. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
In our observations of reality.
Yeah. Nature. Universe. Gamma quadrant. Right.
So how can somebody so be obsessed in this one factor?
Well, I think it's that David Rogers is just not very bright, and so he just kind of works on one thing, and you can see by his long drawn out thing here. This isn't the first time he's done this. He's copy pasting this, and he builds it up over time, so it gets longer and longer every time. So, yeah, you can't read these. It's just too stupid. It hurts too much. So, forcing gravity to return back to the mass it left severely limits how far gravitational waves can spread. 1 mile, 100 miles, 1,000 miles. This distance must always be the same, making longer distances impossible. That makes no sense. It's inverse square law. While gravity is busy traveling to a distant object, what's the force pulling them together before gravity gets there? Oh my gosh.
What I liked the best was when he was trying to compare gravity to a sheet of paper.
Oh, I don't remember that one.
Oh yes. He tried to claim that a sheet of paper had gravity, but it was
Which it
not
does.
limitless.
Yeah.
It would wear out over time. I all I could do was shake my head.
Yeah, because he thinks that somehow it's a force that requires an output of energy, and you can't have an indefinite source of energy. He has said perpetual motion machines don't exist. And he's right, which is weird because most flat earthers are happy to say that perpetual motion exists. They don't understand physics enough, but um, it so yeah. So to him, he thinks that somehow there's an output needed to have gravity happen, and then whatever it is dissipates over time somehow. So
Yeah, and that is so far fetched. It's ridiculous.
yeah, it will
I'm just
deplete the
sitting
mass of the
back here
paper.
thinking, you're crazy. So, if a sheet of paper has to dispense gravity over time, what happens to it after that? Does it just disappear?
Well, that's his argument. Um, I said the non-flurf Dave Rogers has sent an email, so I sent him a Zoom link. Um, yeah, so that's his attempted refutation of gravity, but of course that the very same thing happens with magnetism. Right? Magnets don't dissipate over time; they continue to work, and they're not expelling energy or reducing the amount of any mass in them because of the not the gravitation, the magnetism of them. So how does that work, David Rogers? It doesn't make sense that you can't you don't see that is not a problem. So
So, do you think he's actually going to join?
I do not. I do not think he has been on Facebook when I posted the link to this video yesterday. He kind of went silent. He's in hiding. So this video will then just be a link in the future for any time he starts talking smack, right? So once again, Dave Rogers, I'll say it again, Dave Rogers. In our reference frame, gravity is mass attracting mass. In a broader sense, mass warps the fabric of time, space time, and then things travel along a geodesic within the four-dimensional space-time, and a geodesic is the shortest path between 2 points in a curved space-time. So if you don't like that, then I don't care. Uh,
Yeah,
it's empirically confirmed. So
somehow he thinks that there is physical evidence, just like you said, of magnetism when really there isn't. And he thinks that's a go gotcha. And he's been proven wrong and wrong again over I don't know how many posts on Facebook, but yet he refuses to concede.
but and it's a typical flat earther thing to have a position that's ridiculous, and it doesn't matter. They're not asking for evidence when they say they're asking for evidence. They know they're going to reject it. They're like, show me a picture of the curve. You show them a picture of the curve. They're like, oh, but Neil deGrasse Tyson said this. Like, they just know their responses that they've been given from their Papa Flurf. So, all right, we've got Eric Burns and Leslie Rohrer coming in too. We don't want to get too many people in so that where everybody's talking over each other, but so we need to
Hello.
be careful of that. Hey, Leslie.
Hello, all.
How's it going?
It's good. Hey, Eric. Eric,
Yes.
can you explain to us because apparently a piece of paper will deplete in mass as it expels gravity. Can you explain how that doesn't happen?
Wait, because I completely missed the stream. I just completely forgot about it and then got the message. So when you're saying that, I'm like, what? What was this guy talking about?
So I'll put it up on screen here.
So it was papers, gravity just goes
yeah,
away.
I don't think he's talking about the paper in this one. And it's
Oh,
not
he's
like
talking-
a research paper.
He's talking about some paper. It's paper that's been used to what? Never mind.
Yeah, so I mean, this goes similar to it. He says what happens is magic, invisible force, gravity, energy perpetually radiates. He says it radiates 360 degrees from your body, away from your body at the speed of light, and it radiates below from the earth like sunshine, but in dark energy form. No.
What?
Yeah, that's yeah.
So that
That's so
made no
dumb.
sense.
Oh, he's so
I mean,
dumb.
like, I can't even come up with an explanation for that.
Yeah,
I don't
mean,
think anybody can.
yeah. Radiating energy disappears forever once it leaves the source, with sunlight even being considered a push force for solar sails tech by NASA. That's true. But it doesn't disappear forever. It goes somewhere else. It still continues to exist, but in a different form. That's the first law of thermodynamics. So then he says magic push force gravity radiates away from mass. No, it's a pull force, not a push force. Just like sunlight does from the sun, but it's actually a pull force generating attraction. Okay, so he came back around. Yes, it's not
So he
magic.
says it's both.
Well, no, he started with the push, and then he said, but it's actually a pull force. Okay. He says, how does an energy radiating from you and all mass at the speed of light, just like sunlight, turn itself into a pulse force gravity? How it happens? Yeah, I don't really care. Eric, does any answer to how it happens?
I'm just like still just his wording is just so weird on everything. Where I don't know exactly. I don't know how to get through his wording is the problem.
Oh my gosh, Rad Vlad is in the chat. Like getting to the moon by firing a machine gun from the back of the lunar lander. Yes, totally. Anyway, so he says that's kind of a big problem. It's not a problem. Okay, what?
Why can't I see your stream on my screen? I'm sorry.
Because I'm not sharing in Zoom. I'm not sharing. I mean, I can send my video. Now you can see my face.
Now I can see you. Yes.
Yeah, I'm not sharing my screen to you guys, but I can. Actually, I'm not going to, because that is my my full screen. I can't control just a subset of it, so I'm not going to share my screen. So if you need to see what I'm doing, you have to pull up the live stream on YouTube, but turn off the sound, because there'll be a mismatch in the sound.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There's a little delay.
So by popular demand, I've been asked to not share my video, but no.
I mean, I see your video. I could put you on screen, but it's not yet time for Santa Flurf, so we'll have to wait.
Not yet. When is Santa Flurf time?
Santa Flurf is coming to town. He's putting the hat on, but nope, I'm not going to ruin the magic of Santa Flurf by putting you on screen now. And it can't happen until December.
Oh,
that's after Friday. After Friday.
Oh.
Friday is when that season starts to me.
So the question is, after Friday, do I start with my Christmas theme intro and outro, or do I wait until December 1st?
I don't know.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll do a poll.
The judgment call.
I'll do a poll. So can any of you answer or to take a stab at this nonsense? How does an energy radiating from you all mass at the speed of light, just like sunlight, turn itself into a pull force gravity?
Well, I know the answer. Yeah.
Give it a shot.
Well, he simply doesn't understand what energy is. There's no energy involved with gravity spreading any more than there's any energy involved with the electromagnetic force spreading. There's no energy involved with that. Energy, very simply, is equal to the integral of the force times VA, which is the position vector, or in other words, if you want a simpler version, you could say it's mass, the force times the distance. There's no force involved with gravity spreading. It's only involved once you actually have two objects that have gravity between them,
But
and
does
you
that
still
Mm-hmm. consume the energy of the objects emanating the gravity,
No.
as he said?
No, not at all. Not at all. It's because there's no force being exerted. Unless there's a force being exerted, and a force being exerted over a distance, then there's no energy transfer at all. And that doesn't happen with gravity, doesn't happen with any of the four fundamental forces. You have to have two objects that are being pulled or pushed away, pulled towards each other or pushed away from each other. And until the gravity gets there, that doesn't happen. And even then, it doesn't happen if, for instance, let's say you have two big massive balls with a rod between them.
I've got those, but David does not.
Okay.
Yeah, he doesn't.
My restraining order prevents me from talking about my balls.
Hold on. The not Flurf Dave Rogers is here. I'm bringing him in. He is the guest of honor, lacking the David Rogers Flurf. So
it shouldn't be hard to tell.
Yeah. Oh, he's in. He's working on getting his audio connected. So, all right. Well, Icy Spin says, will gravity eventually cause the expansion of the universe to reverse? All right. All right. I'm going to. All right. We've got on screen. We've got the real Dave Rogers, the Mr. Rogers, the one who's earned the Mr. because he showed up. How you doing? No audio yet. We see you, but we can't hear you. It looks like there's no audio. I think I can.
Probably have the mute button on.
No, it's not even connected yet. So I can do sometimes I can do a thing where I can like request audio, but sometimes I can't, and I can't right now, so I don't know why.
Meanwhile, how many of you have had like a 3-minute conversation with your mute button on?
I've done it. Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, I have.
Yeah. I've also done the reverse, which is the really embarrassing one where you think it's on and it's not muted.
Yeah, and that's especially bad when you were in the bathroom, Leslie. So don't do that again.
I'm sorry.
Somebody says that Junior McDaniels is here. In this chat? Is Junior in this chat? Junior's another flatty from that particular group. But I don't see any chats from Junior. So, Stanley Tools says no Christmas intro. I guess I didn't put in an option for no Christmas intro at all. So
I think it's kind of funny.
Yeah, it's Heavy Metal Christmas. What's wrong with that?
Love it.
The poll is going so far after Thanksgiving versus December 1st. December 1st is winning. So Dave Rogers is still trying to get the audio working. Man, he's kind of flirting it up a little bit.
How long did it take me?
Not too long. But I think yours automatically connected. I think he may have a little configuration to do on his computer to get it to work. So one thing you can do is you can install the Zoom app instead of running through a browser. Sometimes that helps.
Why is Dave's video so narrow?
Probably on his phone.
It's vertical. Yeah, it's probably on his phone. So.
Oh, yeah, I hadn't thought of it. Okay.
But he says he's not a flirt. So.
He says he's not a flirt?
This is not the David Rogers from from Facebook. This is Dave Rogers, a different one.
Yes.
So
Okay.
I'm not seeing it in the chat here. Let me look here. Junior McDaniel's here. I'm not seeing him in the live chat. Weird. But tell you what, I'm gonna post the Zoom link. If Junior is in the chat, then pop in. You can tag in for David Rogers, who is too scared. But David and Smutsvan is another flurf on Facebook. They're super toxic. Smutsvan likes to claim that I was scared of Junior, and so anyway, so there's the link to Junior.
Michael,
Yes.
so a couple of times I've noticed that his page has reverted back to October 9th. Like he's deleted all his content until then.
David Rogers' like his personal Facebook page.
Yes.
So one thing that I know happens is that there is a black market for social media accounts. If you want to purchase, I mean, there's a black market for email addresses. I write email filtering software, so I see that all the time. Lots of we see a compromised account on our own system. Somebody will start sending out spam. We're like, oh, somebody popped an account. So social media accounts are the same. If you want to go purchase a hacked Facebook account, there is a market for it. So I suspect that many of the flurfs that are particularly toxic on Facebook are using a purchased hacked account. So this David Rogers is behaves in such a way that it could be. There's a couple others. There's Jennifer Lee and Jay Grant and Kirsten Taylor. Those are all the same person. Smutsvan is don't know, probably, you know, there's a handful of accounts that are just obviously they feel different because it's not tied to themselves. Their friends and family aren't connected to the account. So
Yeah, I just thought it was odd. It's the second time I've seen this tonight. If you go to his profile, well, his last post was October 9th.
Yeah. So and you can look back in history. The thing is for him, I looked at his pictures going back, and he has flurf content like crazy. Just everything he posts like multiple times a day, flurf garbage, and then a whole series of pictures from a vacation. And then I'm like, oh well, this was the threshold between being normal and flipping the switch to crazy. But then it goes back farther back in time to more everyday posting flurf content, and then you get to the end, and his earliest stuff is flurf content. So that tells me it might not be an account like that. So
I just think it's funny that his oldest flurf content got like 9 comments.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, the place to go is to where there's a group of people. So you go into a Facebook group, and there's people in there that are, yeah.
Geez, I thought I was pathetic.
Okay, so Neil. So let me show you this while we're talking here. Neil's the one that he 3D printed the Star Trek emblem here, but he also made this for me, and I received it today. So
That's really cool.
Yeah, this is a 3D printed Voyager 1. If you're a fan of Star Trek, you'll recognize this as a V'ger that eventually becomes sentient and comes back to attack us. Anyway, so there it is. Pretty cool. And
Love it. Do you have any of the web?
So he sent, just for reference, he sent this This up here is the Apollo lander he also sent, and I assembled that because some of it broke.
That's really, I mean, that's fabulous if you ask me. That's a neat gift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you very much to Neil for sending this. He said he just woke up. He just sent me a message.
So, Michael, do you have any models of the web?
Of the web. What web?
James Webb
JWST.
telescope.
Oh, the James Webb Telescope. No, I do not.
One of my friends got the Lego set of it, and it's just like, it looks so cool.
Oh, I better get that. I still haven't done it. I have the shuttle on the ground there. So
Yeah, but the web is really cool.
yes, yep.
One thing that I still will find funny is that one of the astronomy professors here is actually named James Webb.
LOL.
Well, that's got to happen a few times, I imagine. I bet there are a few astronomers named James Webb, huh?
Yeah, it's just like he's like, no, I'm not that one.
So all right, I'm gonna put up and this is the particular group. It's called Flat Earth Debate, 818 members. It's not a particularly big group, but to my knowledge, it's Flurf run. Let's see here. Yeah, see these. I don't recognize these people here. I don't see them post. So sometimes you see, oh my gosh. There you go. Group contributor David Rogers, 156,000 points. Whatever points are. So there it is. And we'll
Worthless
post by new post. Andrew Greger, hey, that's you, Andrew, talking it right now.
Yes.
It says we're all here talking about you. Rob Greenfield, where's Dave Rogers? We're all waiting. Andrew Gregory, why do you run, David Rogers? We're here laughing at you. I mean, you can never show your face again, David Rogers. You ran. So
No, he's done. He might as well delete his Facebook Facebook account.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, nowhere. I like this. This Mark Gillen says $5,000 to any flatwit who can give me something more accurate than gravity that has supporting physics and we can compare to experiment. I have a $10,000 challenge that I don't even require supporting physics. I just require some predictive mechanism that's better than gravity at predicting the specific variations all over the earth. So $10,000 is already in escrow.
Michael?
Yeah.
I love that challenge because once we bring it up, they all flee.
Yeah, they just run. They don't. There's nothing they can do because they can't claim that there's no reason to do it. They can't. If they go off into something like, well, I bet he doesn't have the money, then embarrass me. I don't have the money. It's in somebody else's hands. Somebody else has control over it. And and he has been instructed and he signed a contract. I signed the contract saying if somebody wins, he is supposed to pay them and I release him from liability. So that's the funny thing, just go do it. And if you don't get the money, well, then you get to cry to high heaven. Right. But they don't do it.
I've seen several of them complain that it's not a real challenge because you actually require them to provide evidence.
Well, it's actually not even that. For the gravity one, they don't need to provide evidence. They just need to provide something that predicts it better. So it doesn't have to actually have any mechanism behind it. It can be whatever, but that's where it has to match reality. Like we were talking about in the last stream, you can have a hypothesis. It doesn't matter where you got the hypothesis from. It could have been a dream.
Has anyone tried to submit anything for these or no? Any of your
Um,
newer ones?
The gravity one, Most of them don't read the challenge. They generally don't read the challenge. And so I had a guy on TikTok, right? So the first thing is the submission method is you send me an email with notifying me that you've submitted something. And it could be a video, it could be a web page, it could be any number of ways. But if I don't receive an email, then I know that they haven't even at least read that portion of it. So this guy sends me a DM on TikTok. He says that gravity challenge, balloons float, send me the money. Like, that's not the challenge is to provide the specific, predictive method for different locations on the Earth. So latitude, longitude, elevation is where these things will be. And then you provide the mechanism that outputs the magnitude of the downward acceleration for that location. So if they don't provide a mechanism to do that, and like I said, it doesn't have to be backed by any physics, then they have actually submitted something, and nobody has done that for the gravity one. 3 people tried for the celestial navigation one. All 3 used the globe. 2 of them were just coordinate transforms. That would be Brian Leakey and Trulon. Trulon was not a flatty. He was a glober that did he's pretty good at math. He did some mathematical transforms. And I'm saying was in the past tense because he has passed away. His wife got on Discord a while ago and said he passed away. He was on here a lot. I just thought I'd let somebody know. So anyway, and then the third one was Wisecoff, who used he used an astrology application. This application used the Swiss ephemeris. The Swiss ephemeris is an ephemeris is a thing that plots the locations of different celestial objects in the solar system. So here's where the sun is, and the moon, and the earth, and the planets, and the moons of the planets, and some asteroids even. That Swiss ephemeris is based on NASA's DE 405, or there's a series of NASA ephemerides. It's based on that, and then they add in, for astrology, they add in positions of mythical objects. That's why it's based on that, and so the Swiss ephemeris is based on that when they add these in. Then, so he used the location of the objects in the solar system to do the celestial navigation, which isn't using flat Earth. So all 3 of them did not use flat Earth.
Michael.
Yes.
So one of the things I loved about David was the fact that he thought, oh my God, I just draw a blank. I'm sorry.
Well, I think the reason why you drew a blank is because you said he thought in reference to David, and we all know that didn't happen.
The Kip's
Hey, can you guys hear me?
amateur rocket.
Hey, there we go.
Oh, we've got Dave, the not David, the not Flurf. Dave Rogers.
Not a flurf, no.
Welcome. Dave
No,
Rogers is here to clear his good name.
No, I've been hijacked, man.
Are you new to this topic, or have you been around just because I don't recognize your name?
Well, I was watching you probably a couple years ago for a while, and now kind of getting back into it. So
Okay.
It's not new to me, but I'm not into it every day,
All right. Well, good. Well, welcome.
No, I appreciate your videos. I really started watching because one, it was fun to make fun of the flat earthers and stuff, but it was also educational for me. So I learned a lot. So thanks.
I try to sneak in a little education every once in a while.
Oh, it's great. I like it.
People are asking for a litmus test. Okay.
Keep in mind, I'm a high school dropout, so I'm not going to be too technical about anything.
All right. Well, let's
hang
try
on,
this.
Hang on. Because he admitted to that, that means he's not a flurf.
I mean that you've passed step 1. because a high school dropout flirt would declare that education is indoctrination, and then that they're smarter than Einstein. So you haven't done that.
Well, I'd never say I was smarter than Einstein.
Well, either that,
might be indoctrination, but
either that, or they'll claim that they have a PhD. One of the two, right?
There have been some. So then there's what is 5 divided by 0?
You can't divide by 0.
There you go. You passed that one. If
Michael.
Yeah.
So I remembered what I was trying to point out before is that David does not understand Kip's video of the amateur rocket launch.
Oh yeah.
We pointed out the camera from the tower, not the rocket.
Yes. He constantly does that. So let's see if I can find the post.
Please.
Yeah, so if you're wondering, so Kip Dourgertis did a rocket that went to almost 300,000 feet.
Amateur rocket.
Yeah, and he did it on he put a rectilinear lens on, so it was a GoPro camera, but he put a different lens on it. And he documented the particular lens that he was using, and he showed some testing of it. So, all right, Andrew, here's your post.
You just did it recently?
He did it, I think it's been over a year now. Yeah, okay. So here is the
Kip
video.
did it a year ago.
Yeah, Kip Dourgertis. He did it November 8, 2002. So just over a year ago. So here's the video. And so what David did is so here's the documentation of the lens that they put on the GoPro.
The tower.
And then I'm going to look for the tower. So there's a GoPro with a normal GoPro lens on the tower. There's the camera sticking out the side of the rocket. Okay, so here is the camera on the tower, and you can see the rocket there at the bottom. So David Rogers, flat earther David Rogers, sees this. You see that little bit of the horizon there? That little bit of the horizon in the upper right is curved. That's because this is a regular GoPro camera with strong barrel distortion. This particular camera would not be a good one to put in a rocket to look for curve or not curve of the horizon. But he looks at this particular part of the video and says, aha, it's a GoPro lens. And therefore, he says it can't be used.
So he thinks the entire tower is launching, not just the tiny rocket there.
Apparently.
Maybe.
Yeah. So, all right. So here is, but when you're
trying to deny it.
Yeah, when you're at elevation, here's how high is this here? This is where it's not quite at the top at this point. So here it is, 250,000 feet. You can see now this. So a lens that adds distortion will make it distort one way above the center of the frame and the opposite direction below. Barrel distortion when you're above the center frame, like this one, like the horizon is here, it will add curve, and if it's below, then it will remove curve. So what you want to do is you want to find both above and below to see if they match. Now this is actually that's actually let's go backwards a little bit here. See if we can get, all right, so here's below center frame, or outside the center frame, and so there's a slight curve there still, and then we move forward a little bit and we get above the center frame. Now don't be confused because of the orientation. It's the side of the center frame that it's on here, so not really above or below is not really the right word. So
300 300,000 feet though for an amateur rocket. That's
pretty high. Yeah.
That's really
hyper
good.
impressive. Yeah. Wow.
Yes, it is.
Didn't somebody send up a balloon a few years ago with a camera?
Yeah, there have been many cameras on balloons. Most of them are GoPros with regular GoPro lenses. Flat Earthers, they'll cherry pick a section of these videos where there's where it's quite still and the horizon is a little bit below the center of frame. And so if it's got barrel distortion, when you're below center of frame, it's going to remove curve. So they take a portion of it. They just cherry pick the 15 seconds or 30 seconds of the video.
Except for Mage, and we should get to that later.
Yep. So anyway, here it is.
He had strings across the center of the screen and everything for straight lines.
Yep.
It doesn't matter what you do; they're never gonna change their minds.
No, it's a religion.
It's like a cult. Any opposition to what their belief is, they're just gonna automatically deny it before even thinking about it.
Deny.
Oh, we've got.
I don't know.
I think I could. How you doing?
I think I could change their minds. I have a baseball bat.
Good one.
All right, so this right here, this shows a couple frames ago it was on the other side of the center, and here it is in the this is in the portion of the center of frame where if it had barrel distortion, it would remove the curve, and we still see curve. So both sides of the center frame, I'll back it up a little bit. We see the curve the same direction. So this shows us that no doubt this is a rectilinear lens. Right here. This is unchallenged evidence
Exactly unchallenged.
of the curve of the horizon.
Many people have tried to challenge it.
Well,
unsuccessfully.
No, but just saying "nuh-uh" or just saying it's a they say fisheye. It's a barrel distorted lens, but it's not. This right here defeats that claim immediately. So
can you show the image Dave showed?
The portion, yeah. Of I don't know exactly the one, but this could be
the image of the launch tower.
Yeah, this is the launch tower here. Yeah, right there. I don't know exactly if this was the portion that he keeps showing, but you can see that the horizon is curved at ground level there. Right? Do you see that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. So and it goes to the saying that we say so many times, you gotta light a flurf. That this is by using this is a lie. David Rogers is lying when he points to this as an attempt to dismiss this evidence. This isn't.
Can we just call him Flurf Dave?
Yes, that's a good one.
Flurf Dave. I gotta redeem my name somehow. Yeah. I know that I don't have an unusual name and that it's pretty common, but
well, the problem is there's
I don't want to
already
be associated with that group.
You can call him whatever you want, but Kip is a legend.
Here's the problem, though. There's already Flat Earth Dave with Dearth.
Yep. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that's not so bad. It's both names is a little much.
I think Flurf Dave works.
Yeah.
There are a lot of Daves on both sides apparently, because then there's Professor Dave Explains, who's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, there's always Daves.
I would automatically go to Idiot Dave, but that's my choice.
That works. Okay,
that
so
works.
Here's the picture that Flurf Dave did right here. It's that frame. He says, "Oh my goodness, look at this incredible ground-based launch rod curvature air-fuel proving fisheye lens bakery." It's not fish. I always say fisheye, but it's not fisheye. It's barrel distortion. But wrong camera. That's not the camera.
So he posted that 3 or 4 times, and I tried to explain to him each and every time that was the launch tower. Look at the rocket at the bottom.
He
But
thinks
he
that the
doesn't
rockets
care.
must be gigantic
Doesn't
instead
want to
of
look
being
at the
tiny.
rocket at the bottom because that goes against what he wants to think.
Yeah.
So he's blind to that. You'll never get him to see it.
He thinks all rockets need to be like starship sized or something, and so that's why he probably thinks that the launch tower is part of the rocket.
Well, I mean, it's not a movie, you know. It's not like Hollywood.
Well, I can't tell exactly how big that rocket is. I mean, it's got to be fairly large. I mean, it wouldn't be able to make it to 200,000 feet unless it had a pretty substantial fuel load. But I don't know how tall it is. I guess
And
maybe
it said
15.
said 2-stage, right? I think on the description. So it
Yeah.
is fairly large.
And so here's, it says rocket weight wet 87 pound, propellant weight 41 pounds. So
Okay.
So he's claiming that it's huge. I mean, why wouldn't he think that it's like a model or something?
no, he's
All right,
claiming
stop, back up. This rocket was not presented by NASA.
I see.
the what he's
It's all
claiming,
natural.
his claim isn't anything about how, you know, the size of the rocket. He's talking about the
Can't
lens.
refuse.
He's complaining that this particular lens on the camera that did not go up with the rocket is a GoPro with what he calls fisheye. It's barrel distortion. So
But it's not even the camera that went up with the rocket.
It's the wrong camera.
Correct.
Yeah. Got a light of
Well,
curve.
That's like extra dumb.
Yes.
I would agree
You at
with
least make a
extra
false
dumb.
claim about the camera that's going up with the rocket.
And this Manobrat set makes a good point. Yeah, I'll put it up on screen here. This is fantastic. This is why you should never mix barrel distorted images with your rectilinear footage. Mr. Sensible made that mistake. The Flurfs claimed that he was showing curvature 70 feet off the ground. Yeah, it's not you're not doing normal science when you're doing something in this.
He wasn't doing science. He was just doing his rocket launch.
No, I'm not talking about Kip. Kip doesn't care about flatties. Mr. Sensible.
Okay.
Flatties, the third law of Flurf is that they have a dual standard. They'll accept anything that confirms flat Earth and they'll reject anything that doesn't. And they'll just grasp at whatever straw they can get. And so then it's this little game where we're like, well, let's not give them any straws to grasp at. So don't ever show any video footage that was tertiary to the actual thing that was, showing some background or a launch of the balloon that's from a GoPro. It has to be from something that's not from a GoPro, because then they'll grasp onto that one.
So why do they always miss the fact that the GoPro was changed to
rectilinear?
lens? Yep.
Well, because it doesn't match their required outcome. So it's just that they grasp onto whatever they can to try. There it is. There's the lens. To try to debunk it.
It's never about flat Earth. It's always about disproving the globe somehow.
Yeah.
They can't argue about flat Earth because there is no flat Earth to present any evidence for or anything.
Yeah.
So they just want to poke holes in whatever science that is out there that they can find any little thing to poke a hole in. And usually they haven't looked into that.
So they will never provide proof of a flat Earth.
They won't even try.
Right. Globe. Yeah. They don't even attempt it.
Yeah, it's just like anytime there's a quote debate, it's always just like, well, I don't want to present my evidence. You need to present yours.
Right. Yeah. You can't prove gravity.
that doesn't make the Earth flat.
Right.
It's a false dichotomy. They always use the false dichotomy that somehow if they think that if they were to disprove the globe, then the conclusion is flat. No, you still need to. If that were to ever happen, you still would have to actually, provide evidence for flat. But
that's when the work would have to start. You'd have to start all over from scratch you could disprove the
Yeah.
you know.
So, Michael,
Yeah.
can we talk about Mage?
Yeah, but give me a second before we go there. I want to show just as an example of flat earthers' inability to actually address flat Earth. I did this post here yesterday on Facebook. I said, flat earthers, I'm seeking information on the bottom-up obstruction for flat Earth, and you see this picture here of this windmills. I have the formula for the baseline with no air conditions factored in, right? So there's no refraction included. It's just the baseline for flat Earth, the bottom-up obstruction for flat Earth. O, the amount obstructed, equals HO, the height of the observer, times 0. So that's how much should be obstructed. So you input the observer's height, multiply by 0, and that's how much should be obstructed of the distant object. So I ask them, I say, here's the formula, because that's based on actual physics, how much obstruction there should be, right? So here I have this baseline. So if this is in error, please send me the correct one. Lacking an updated formula, I will use the above formula for all flat Earth tests. So, question, is this picture here in agreement with flat Earth? Well, let's test it using the flat Earth bottom-up obstruction formula. Take the observer height, it doesn't matter, and then multiply by 0. 0. So flat Earth predicts 0 feet should be obstructed. Lacking an actual formula, I'm going to use that formula because that's the one based on the actual geometry. And now it has that post has 497 comments.
Oh, well, don't you know those are a new type of windmills where they go underwater now?
That's exactly what I was going to say. I mean, what idiot engineer designed these?
Yeah.
These windmills
Michael?
They make them really low to the ground now.
Yeah.
So isn't refraction usually their excuse for that though?
Well, and that's why I said this is the baseline.
Michael?
No air conditions. Yeah.
Michael? I have always I've always resulted back to LIGO.
Yeah.
That's
The problem with LIGO is that we don't have, there's not a lot of published documentation on it. That's why I don't usually go to it.
There's
I know that
images, drawings.
I know that two more examples for like buildings that had to be like account for the curvature of the Earth are actually Daytona International Speedway and Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Both have grandstands that are like a mile long.
Oh,
so or like 3/4 of a mile, something like that.
So LIGO has the as-built drawings showing definite curvature of the Earth.
Oh, that'd be cool. If you have that, send it to me. I can. These are the kinds of things that I'll put up on my webpage, and then if somebody's like,
Those are NASA
Well, of
drawings.
course we can send it to you.
oh, what's that?
Well, of course we can send it to you.
Okay, all right. Anyway, my point is, oh, now there's 501 comments. 500 comments, and there has been one flat earther in here that actually tried, but it was terrible. It's Chris Copeland right here. I'll show you this, and then we'll go to Mage. And then so Chris is like, you need to tell me the globe version. I'm like, why do I need to tell you the globe version? You don't think the Earth is a globe? Just give me the flat Earth version. And
this is addressing the flat Earth part, not the globe part.
Right. And then so I just keep going back to this. So the formulas I provide is good. Right. And he's talking about angular resolution. I'm just asking for you to provide the correct formula. For flat Earth, I already know the globe Earth method. He's look at this long thing he's writing. I'm like, dude, just either provide it or admit that you don't have it. So here's what he did. This is funny. After all this stuff, he comes up with something. He actually does right here. This one he comes up with. To calculate the angular resolution, use the formula theta equals 1.22 times lambda over d, where lambda is the wavelength and d is the diameter of the aperture. I'm like, hey, I can do that. So I did that. Right? I quoted his formula. I plugged in for lambda, the average wavelength of visible light, and for d, the average diameter of the human eye iris, and I get 167.75 terahertz per millimeter. That is Chris Copeland's formula for the bottom-up obstruction. There's nowhere to put in the height of the observer or the distance to the object, so that's always the answer. I don't know how you actually turn that into a usable bottom-up obstruction number, but he didn't like it when I used his formula.
I mean, it's just because he chose the very first thing that showed up on Google. He didn't actually try to look through anything.
He's hoping you never tried it.
So if you don't know what that is, that's a Rayleigh criterion. That's what this is. This is this all this says is when something is that small in angular size, you cannot resolve detail. It's not invisible, it's not obstructed, it's not hidden, it's not gone. You just can't make out detail. You can see that just by looking at your hand. You've got cells on your hand. Those cells you can't see, you just see the skin. That's because it's beyond the angular resolution of your eyeball. You need something with, that can do a better job of it.
I think somebody some cows to the comedy skit about that.
Yes, these are small. Those are far away. Anyway, so he didn't provide anything from that. He's been asked. Somebody offered to pay him money to come and debate me, but he won't. Anyway,
is it harder to find debaters?
That's the hardest part of what I do.
Yeah. Is it harder now than it was before, though?
It comes and goes. Sometimes it's challenging. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes I get a few lined up, but a few weeks ahead, and sometimes, they.
I just saw a notification pop up. Gary Wybanga replied to something.
Yeah, Gary's in there. This is
hello, Penguin.
This is Penguin on screen. Hi, Penguin. When you put your hands between her front paws, she'll grab them sometimes. So there it is. Hello, puppy. All right. Oh, I'll just set her down. There you go. Thank you. So yeah, Gary. All right. So let me show you this. Travis Finley says he's happy to help. Where did you get that formula? Do you have an actual equation you can cite? He misspelled cite. To express your variables? Thanks. I mean, I did express everything in the top. I said I applied geometry and optics to derive the formula. Geometry, there's nothing in the way. Nothing will be obstructed. And then this is good. Stop trying to fish for a source you can attack. Speak to the formula. I said, hey, who wants me to show my work should be simple. My point is, if you disagree with it, ignore it. If you think I have the wrong formula, you don't need to refute it. Just throw it away. Provide the right one. Does he? Of course not. So
the thing is for me with how it's like they all hate gravity and they all love electromagnetism. If I just show them some of the equations in my textbook, then they'll hate electromagnetism because that's even more equations.
Eric.
Yeah.
Electromagnetism completely reverses in thunderstorms.
Yeah,
the
I know.
Electrostatic field, yeah.
So it's all debunked anyway.
Yeah, because otherwise things would just fly straight upward if there's a lightning strike.
But when they're sitting on Discord in their little circle over there, like all that shit works because nobody knows any better,
Well,
and they all want to hear it. So it's like an excellent reason to them. It doesn't work when they come out here and try to argue it with anybody that knows anything, but it gives them like street cred on their street. You know what I mean?
Yeah. In all fairness, I do fly straight up when I'm struck by lightning, but
How'd you find that out?
Yeah, that's
very painfully.
All right, so here is Mr. Sensible's mage. I don't usually use mage because I like him to use it. So I like to have some variety. So I prefer to use Dwayne Kellum, the flat earther, who sent up a very nice camera with lens that's rectilinear.
so do them both.
All right, so here is how high is he? 20,000 meters altitude max. So this is right around max altitude here. There it is. So yeah, he sent up one. He has 2 strings in the front. See those going across the front there, and they're pulled straight. So if the lens is adding curve, then you can see it right there on the screen. And then you can compare the curve of the horizon to the curve or not curve of the strings, and there is a slight bow to the strings, and so if the horizon is more curved than the very slight bow of the strings, then we know that we're seeing some real curve from the horizon. But yeah, the top 2 you see on the top there, wide cam, that's got barrel distortion. Don't do that. We don't need that.
You can see that's curving up there. It looks like on that one frame you
Yep.
have it stopped on.
Yeah.
No, all we need is where he confirmed that his predictions were accurate to Earth's curve predictions.
Yep. All right. So we're not at max altitude yet.
Is Mage the one that Mr. Sensible did?
Yep. All right, there we go. Here is 38,000 meters. So you see how it's a little bit below the center of frame here in this calm portion. So Flat Earther will use one that's got a GoPro lens where it will remove the curve of the horizon where it's slightly below, and then they'll just loop that portion of it as if it's the whole thing and all that there is to know about it. Never sending the details of the lens and never sending the full video to see if it's a GoPro or not.
Well, and one thing that really, I mean, it's a long list, right? But the thing that really gets me about these guys, they constantly say, no one has ever, there has never been, and 5 minutes on the web, you can find it.
Yeah, they never search. They only parrot their Papa Flurf.
Yeah.
Michael?
Yes.
What I love is when they all look at the pre-roll video where he's showing curvature due to a fisheye lens.
Yep.
And neglecting everything else.
Yep. Yeah, they say, well, I'm not going to look at the high altitude, and yeah.
It's just hilarious.
Yeah, so here it is. This is the camera that's pointing up. We don't need this. We don't need this camera when you're dealing with flat earthers, because they'll look at that and they'll say, "Oh, that's all I'm going to focus on."
Well, no, in that video, they should only be looking at the video with the strings.
Yep.
For reference.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the rectilinear lens.
It's kind of cool to see the balloon go and then the puff of air stays.
Yeah, that's really cool.
I love that.
Yeah, I screenshotted that actually. I still got it on my phone.
All right.
But you're asking for flat earthers to focus on what?
Or be honest.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So
No, they always
Or-
focus on the pre-roll.
Yep.
Where he's saying this is what the typical flat earther will show.
Well, not only that, but
Yeah.
apparently when a flat earther points a camera up, they forget how to focus.
Yes, they do, because they can't see stars.
yeah,
Yeah,
there's
the-
no, where's
the
the stars?
the other Dave that you did the Devon Island video thing on,
Mhm.
and how he has the most out of focus pictures of planets ever.
Yeah. I have a P1000 here. I can make it do that too, or I can just flip the autofocus off and then focus to infinity, and you click it back a couple steps, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean,
It's amazing what manual focus will do.
I mean, even just looking through a telescope yourself, if you want to make it out of focus for your eye, you can make it look like that there's a hole inside of the star, and then it's just there's an outside, so it's like, oh, I'm looking at a donut.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, Eric, now you went and made me hungry, dude.
I'm hungry too.
Tone on Earth.
All right. There's another one. There's some curve there. The challenge is that if to get a good picture, you want as wide of a field of view as possible, but wide field of view lenses tend to have more barrel distortion. So it's a balance.
Yeah, and of course there are rectilinear wide-angle lenses. They're quite expensive.
Yeah, they're more expensive.
Very
And-
expensive.
And can you put that on a GoPro? The nice thing about a
No.
GoPro is it's an
No.
all-in-one. It's got the battery in. It's got the SD card. It's small. It's light. It's rugged. If you're like, well, I want to put up a
Yes,
Sony.
Are you going to send your $500 lens up in space?
Yeah, you don't want to do that too badly. And it's
Oh, but
heavier
it should
too.
be
Much
it
heavier.
should be easy to put one on the ISS, right?
Yeah, it's super easy to just chuck something on the ISS, Rad Vlad. You know, it's like $160. Oh no, that was Dan the Waterman.
Video
Yeah, that
did
was Dan.
Yeah, it's like $180 to put the camera up. I'll pay for it. Seriously, that's not it. That's not the cost. Like you,
but Tips video did it.
but
I mean,
who?
and while you were doing that, you can just look up like a 24-hour live stream of the ISS. It's just like they have a camera on there for you, already doing it.
Yeah, they're like, oh, but there's this infrared that's suspicious, really, like, and I want to get signatures because I want everybody to suspect that NASA and demand that they do stuff. Like,
Yeah, it doesn't matter because it's like you need a camera to watch the camera to watch the camera to watch the camera,
yeah,
and it's
exactly.
cameras all the way down. You can't satisfy them. There's no way. You're
why when
not
it
gonna
comes to-
satisfy.
Why do all flat Earth enthusiasts think that a single satellite should be able to show rotation when it only can be able to show strips of the Earth?
well, it depends how far it is.
Yes, I
It
think
depends what it's doing.
someone was saying they wanted something in a geosynchronous orbit that also showed rotation or something like that.
Yeah, that's just ignorance.
I was just like, that's not how geosynchronous orbit works.
It just
Okay.
doesn't work.
They're kind of like my girlfriends, you know, they're never satisfied.
Funny.
Anyway, thanks for having me on too, and it's a pleasure talking to you and everybody else.
Yes, glad to
I'll
have
catch
you.
you all next time later.
Glad to have you. Not a flirf, Dave. Thanks for stopping by.
Happy not to be a third. All right, have a good night.
All
Bye,
right.
all.
Yeah.
So what are we gonna do about Dave?
David. Well, we're going to, every time he posts something, just send a link to this. He's been invited and he chose to chicken out. So It's clear that he doesn't have the intestinal fortitude. I'll tell you though, don't post on Facebook. Don't compare people to animals on Facebook. Facebook's AI will flag you for that.
Okay.
You've got to use something else. You can't call somebody a chicken.
So what can we
You're
call?
kidding me.
I
I know you're
kidding
not
you.
kidding me, but you're kidding me.
So you can call someone the bad word of donkey, and their AI won't flag you.
Yeah. Yeah, you've got to be a little more creative. Yeah,
Hermesian brain. Yeah.
you can't even. I had a comment flagged for calling somebody farmyard poultry.
How is
That's
it that
funny
they
as
flag
shit.
animal whatever, but then they don't flag swears?
Yep.
I think that what they do if it's like swears or whatever, they have it where it's like it's not in the most relevant or whatever. You have to do like all comments, but still.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Did so yeah, Gary. Oh, you know what? So I posted that that question asking about the formula on Twitter and on Facebook. A couple days prior, I had posted a short on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok of something that Caleb FE had posted. He'd posted a picture of a let's see, I can get it. It's a hotel in Biloxi, Mississippi. And let's see, let me find it here. That's not it there. I'll have to I have a lot of things, a folder with a lot of stuff, so I need to always find the right one. Okay, there it is. So here is, there we go. Come on, right here. Okay, so this is a picture that Caleb posted. You got this zoomed out where you don't see anything. That's not over the curve. So it's a straw man. When we say something has gone over the curve or it's been obstructed bottom up, that's not what we mean. We mean that it progressively got more and more of it blocked by the horizon, not that you zoom out and it's too small to see. Anyway, so then here's the zoomed in. But the zoomed in, the bottom's missing. Where's the bottom?
Everyone's just flooded. The entire first few floors is just flooded.
So I posted a video asking about that, and Simon Dan got somebody sent him a picture. A former employee sent this picture here of the hotel. You see, there's this whole structure down below that's missing in this photo. Where is it? Where's the whole structure there? All of that is totally gone. And so what was Caleb's answer? Caleb, of course, did not have an answer, and instead would go and he's like demanding that I answer other questions. So he's like, how can you possibly assume the photo below is evidence of physical convexity over inferior mirage or limit to angular perspective? Gotta lie to be a raging heliosexual. So yeah, classy guy.
MC clown.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, that's how you do science, Caleb. That's definitely how you do science. So yeah, he says it's the limit to angular perspective. But let's look at that. Let's look at that picture again. The limit to angular perspective. So perspective is things get smaller as they get farther away, right? And the limit would mean, oh well, it got past the limit. But the problem is that the non-zoomed in version here, right here, if this is the place it was taken, they're just a couple feet above the water there. So this here shows that the bottom portion that you see is how far? 40, 50, 60 feet above the surface of the water. So the part that you see there at the very bottom is the closest part. Everything below it is even closer because it's lower in elevation than the max 10 feet that the observer was. So the closest part of it's the bottom. And why is that the part that's beyond the limit of angular perspective, but the top part that's farther away is not beyond the limit of angular perspective? It doesn't make any sense. He wouldn't answer that question. So in the video I did, I asked that question, nothing. Anyway, that's what then brought me to asking for people to provide the formula that none of them can provide. So they get upset when you ask for that. So I have a list of excuses that they use. That somebody else had collected.
A list of excuses. How long are we going to be here, Tim?
Yeah, really. We'll be here until like tomorrow, like for the next 24 hours.
Well,
if
I'm
we
not
get
gonna.
all of
Yeah,
them.
there's no time to read all of them. So
What are like the
is,
top 5?
the list of bottom-up obstruction. These are, and I sorted them. I collected a handful of them, and I sorted them, and I have unique copies of each one. So here is the different buzzword catchphrases that they use to try to explain things. And
Jeez, I just clicked on this link. My God.
Yep, these are. I've not seen every one of these, but I've seen certainly most of these.
I just scroll down to the bottom. I like the very last one. Zone of invisibility.
Yep. Well, yeah, it is a zone of invisibility, I suppose. It's blocked by something. But none of these actually do provide anything. Wave swell, wave shoaling. There's a duplicate there. That's that the software missed. I'll have to fix. So 132. This one I've not seen. Thick blue lines of Fata Bramosa. I don't know what that is.
They just do.
That's they just do. God did it is definitely pixular compaction.
Specular refraction? What the hell is specular refraction?
So anyway, you can go ahead and
it's all riptides. It's all
it's everything, but none of it's just a couple words. That's all it ever is a couple words. It's never here's the actual application of science behind it. And that's because they don't have a background in science. To them, science is somebody saying a few things that they don't quite understand. And then they think, so you got to think about that. You got to put yourself in their shoes. They don't understand science. Everything about science is a black box to them. They don't understand it. They don't get it. If they see math, they're like, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't know how people can use that. So that's where they're sitting at. And so when they throw up literally a couple words that sound kind of good, some of the other listeners that also aren't able to understand science, and science is just a big black box that they don't understand, they'll say, "Oh, that sounds good." So when you say it's the angular resolution limit, then that uneducated person will hear that and say, "Oh yeah, it's the angular resolution limit." What is the angular resolution limit? Well, that's what causes things to be blocked bottom up. Okay. Why are things blocked bottom up? Well, the angular resolution limit. And what is the angular resolution limit? It's the thing that causes things to be blocked bottom up. You see, that's a little circular.
A little. Yeah.
So, and that's it. This is 100% of what they provide. It's just a few words. And then it often is included, especially if it's with Caleb, a liberal application of insults. He'll be sure to say that you're dumb because you don't understand that it is the angular resolution limit.
Yeah.
Whatever that is.
Just word salad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite is angle of attack, and there's two of them. Darn, I'm gonna have to fix that too. Aries diffraction.
Aries diffraction.
Or the Aries lines. Aether
God is
band.
tricking us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God's a liar. There you go.
It's the Fresnel
Nope.
zone.
The Fresnel zone.
Dirty
Fractal
air.
Foreshortening is Gary Wabenga. Yeah, I'll have to fix this. I got a couple duplicates here. Aether band, angle of attack is duplicated. So I must not have applied the correct deduplication. So we won't have 134, 133. There'll be maybe less than 130. Doesn't matter. Oh, you only need one, and they don't have one.
Water ramps.
Hey, Mike, I've got another law of Flurf for you, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, whenever
laws of Flurfs are hard to come by, and there's a fourth one coming.
Okay.
That I just have to get the wording right, and I'm doing some research to make sure that there are none. You can't have any exceptions to a law of Flurf.
Well, I understand. When presented with indisputable evidence or irrefutable logic, they immediately change the subject.
See, that doesn't always happen.
But it really?
Yeah, it doesn't always happen.
Oh well, okay.
They don't always deflect.
Yeah, they deflect, but sometimes they won't. Sometimes they'll double down and they'll actually try to, say more about that same topic. They'll just repeat the same words again.
Like our favorite doubling down of Trey with his Cations.
Oh, jeez, yes. Yeah. Antarctica is made of salt, boy. Seriously. No, the fourth law is and somebody on Reddit, somebody had sent it to me earlier, the same guy. I saw it on Reddit. I'm like, hey, that's a good one. He said, hey, I emailed it to you a while ago. I'm like, I can't, there's too many emails. I can't read them all. If you have an idea for something, don't come to me. If you need somebody to check your math, don't come to me. Go to my Discord server and find somebody there and say, hey, can you help me check my math? I just can't do it. The time I spend doing this stuff is I already spend more time than I have. Anyway, what was I saying? I forgot. The fourth law. The fourth law is potentially. So when flat earthers are here, here's the example. You say, well, how do seasons work on flat earth? They say, oh, well, the sun moves over. I don't have a map. The sun moves from the Tropic of Cancer to the Tropic of Capricorn, and then it moves back into the Tropic of Cancer. That's how seasons work. You say, okay, well, how does the light pattern in December work, where it's this unlit portion in the middle, and all the way around the rim of your flat earth it's lit, and they say, oh, well, here, what you do is you take this acrylic dome and you put it over the flat earth map, and then you have a flashlight on the outside of it, and you shine it in, and oh, look, it's got that same pattern. So what we've seen there is that in one attempted explanation for flat earth, the sun is in the middle, inside the dome, right? And then in the other one, they have it outside the dome. They contradict each other. So different explanations for observed phenomena contradict some other explanation for observed phenomena. That's a bit wordy, so it needs to be worded down a little bit. But if you get what I'm saying, somewhere it's going to conflict with something else. So again, the sun being in the clouds, you've seen that.
The other thing with that is, it's like if it's the sun would have to go at different speeds at each time, then, because it's like it would be at a much shorter radius circle of when it's summer in the northern hemisphere, and a much wider radius.
Yeah, they don't provide an explanation for that. So you've got Dave Rogers, who's complaining about his misunderstanding of gravity, thinking that a paper would dissipate in mass, he thinks it violates the first law of thermodynamics, can't create or destroy energy or matter. Well, then please explain what force is causing the radius of the sun above flat Earth to increase and decrease. Where is that force at? How's that working? Nothing. But that, just saying that alone doesn't contradict some other explanation yet. You need to find there's some other explanation. For
One of the
flat
ones
Earth.
one of the ones I really loved, I don't remember who it was, maybe a couple of them done it, I guess, where they sit here and say, oh, look, I've got this flashlight here, and you see that this area is dark and that area is light. It's like, excuse me, I'm over in the dark area, or your camera's over in the dark area, and we can see the flashlight.
I can still see the flashlight.
Yeah.
It's not an explanation. It's a self-defeating one. That was Dave Murphy's thing in the first level mockumentary.
And then one thing also I remember seeing is some people where it's like they say that the moon isn't actually a sphere or whatever. It's like not even a circle or whatever. And I'm like, if you just do a long like more than 1 second exposures with your phone for a picture of the moon, then you'll see that that's a full circle.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's just
so
like-
yeah, some of them don't even claim it doesn't even exist, or that it's a hologram, or
Yeah.
An interdimensional portal. Santos says it's a portal.
Or it's just a plasma or something.
Yeah, plasma. And how do they what's the supporting evidence for that? This is what's crazy. What's the supporting evidence that the moon is plasma? A video of a doctor who's acclaimed doctor, PhD, professor, something, who you don't know his credentials, you don't know anything about him. He's just saying that the moon is plasma. Without them realizing, you saying the moon is plasma and some other guy saying the moon is plasma is equal. It's just two people saying the moon is plasma. That's not that's not evidence.
If the person does actually have a PhD, I assume it would be an electric universe person.
yeah.
Well, the guy, I think people have tried to find this guy who said this from the 60s. It was before they went to the moon. And they're like, we have somebody that we're interviewing about landing on the moon. He's like, well, they can't land on the moon because the moon is made of plasma. That's it? How did you confirm that?
Yeah.
He just said it. And that's the gullibility of a flat earther, how easily indoctrinated they are. Right? When they claim that somebody else is indoctrinated, that's projection. Why would they believe that? There's no evidence for it. They didn't confirm it. That it confirms their pre-selected conclusions, so they'll accept it. That's the third law of Flurf. So,
Well, consider the source too. I mean, Santos. Santos molests poodles. So
Santos, who did the
pigs
eclipse,
and cows.
Santos,
pigs-
who did
pigs and
the
cows,
eclipse thing and used the thing that used the globe.
Yes. So after I did that, he posted a video from the when he was on Jaren's solstice or whatever it was in June. He was on there, talking about eclipses and how to predict eclipses in that full day thing you bought tickets to, and he basically said the same thing in there. He says, like, he actually said you have to have a good ephemeris, not realizing, completely blank. The guy's such an idiot. He doesn't realize an ephemeris is not going to help you. As soon as you use an ephemeris, you're done. It's the position of the bodies in the solar system, not flat Earth. So I want to do a follow-up video on that, but
I want to see Santos on here do a debate with you.
he won't. He absolutely
No.
won't.
No, but I think it would be hilarious. It would be quite the dumpster fire to watch.
Everything. Because he thinks that he just says something and everybody has to accept it as true. Because He is, think about this. He is he's a religious cult leader. So in his religious cult, everything he says is doctrine. That's his religion. He's the leader of it. Everything he says is to be accepted without question. So somebody coming on saying that's, just saying everything is a tum isn't evidence that everything is a tum. Whatever that means.
I never realized that the definition of doctrine was dog crap.
Oh, I don't know. All right. Let me Martin Smith is a new member at Newton. Tim Tully says we have Darwin's waiting room for evolution deniers. Can we call this Isaac's and Albert's waiting room? Darwin's waiting room for evolution deniers. I don't know what that is. Anybody on the panel here know what?
Well, I know that God's waiting room is Florida, so
What?
from all the old people living here, it's God's waiting room is Florida.
Oh, yeah. Have you not been to Phoenix?
No.
Yep, that too.
Go to Jupiter Beach, Florida. It's all old people.
Jupiter Beach.
That's one of the spots I know of. It's all old people.
What part of Florida are you in?
I'm in Miami, so.
Oh, man, way down there.
Yeah.
At you're at a university?
Yeah, I'm at FIU.
Florida
International.
Okay. All right.
Isn't that a bit of a contradiction in terms? Florida, a state, is international.
You know what? You should drive down to Key West and then get pictures of Cuba. Right.
I do need to visit the Keys. I just, in general, I do need to go. Maybe over the winter break, I'll go because it's still like 90 degrees here every day.
Oh my gosh.
It was 85 today.
Well, not only is it, 80, 90 degrees, but it's also, like 400% humidity. Or at least it was.
Pretty much.
Yeah, at least it was when I was in Florida.
400%.
Yeah,
Yeah. Something seems
it was
fishy.
very different going from Texas to down to Miami with the difference of dry heat versus humidity.
Yeah. Although I gotta say, I mean, of course, I didn't spend that much time in either place, but I gotta say, I've never been in a hotter place than Belize. They're in Belize. Oh my God.
Belize, ooh.
Yeah. Two of us were a friend of mine and I stopped to rest, sat down on a bench. We bent over, and both of us had a steady stream of sweat coming off of our nose.
Nice. All right. Thor Rasmussen, member 4 months. Einstein, Jiffy Jiffwald's gifted 5 memberships. Say thanks to Jiffy if you are a recipient of that. Icy Spin says science would win it. They can, if science would win if they can beat your challenge. My challenges. Yeah, I mean, science, they certainly would. All right, and then I was sent some coordinates by Tyler Carr. So let me pull this up here. All right. What is this? This is in Portland, Oregon. It's Mason Street on the corner of Mason and 33rd. I see what you did there. Let me, I'm out of Toonshine in my Mason jar, but that's a pretty good one, Tyler. Very nice. The corner of Mason and 33rd. Oh, yes, my poll. So there it is. The poll. When should I start the Christmas intro outro? December 1st wins at 60%. After Thanksgiving comes in second with 39%, and an unknown rounding error gets 1%. There you go. All right. I will after December 1st. I think that's what I was going to do. So I'll stick with that.
We're going by golf numbers, so unknown rounding error wins.
That's golf rules? How's that golf rules?
Golf rules. So it's the lowest number wins, right?
Oh, yes. Now, when I golf, I get bowling scores, and when I bowl, I get golf scores.
Same.
Yep. I went a little bit ago with our family. I was really excited. I hit 100.
In which one?
In bowling. I haven't golfed for a long time. When I can't take golfing seriously. One of the holes I like to use a wiffle ball. They have like the practice golf balls. That's a wiffle ball. I'll use that. It doesn't go far, but that's fine. It doesn't go far if I hit it for real anyway.
Yeah, no, I haven't played golf in like years just because I'm so bad.
Yeah. All right. So I have let's see. David Rogers has confirmed that he is a chicken. He talks a big talk, but he doesn't show up when it's time to show up. So David Rogers, who doesn't have intestinal fortitude? You do not have intestinal fortitude. I've been sitting here waiting for you to show up, and you haven't. So there you go. You can't ever again.
Hey, Michael.
Say anything. Yes,
Michael, I've got one for you.
Okay.
It's 308-399 Hockley Road in 308-399 Hockley, Hockley Road.
All right, in Orangeville, Ontario.
Yes.
I'm still laughing from the other time where there was like nipple top was one of them.
All right, what am I seeing here? It's Hockley Road.
Look at the map. You don't see it. It's Schitt's Creek.
Oh, the creek there.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not coming up. There's no label on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, I don't see.
Where's the label? Yeah, well, I mean, isn't it a TV show?
I don't know.
That's that. Yeah, there's no label on it. I don't know why. Maybe because I'm just 13.
Okay.
And then what is this? This is Rosebud Motel, temporarily closed. How sad.
Yeah.
That looks like a fancy hotel. Look at that. That's actually not bad. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for that. Thank you for that. The coordinates there, Tyler. This Thursday is Thanksgiving. I hope you all have a great Thanksgiving. Even if you're not in America, you better celebrate it anyway. Eat some turkey. I'm making a pumpkin pie. While I was doing these live streams, the pumpkin was in the oven. I cut them and removed the seeds and guts earlier. So I'll be making a pumpkin pie tomorrow. We've got Eric and Leslie. Guys, thanks for popping in. Thank you to...
Thanks for having me.
Thank you to...
yeah, absolutely.
Well, the real Dave Rogers, the Nut Flurf, Dave Rogers. Thank you to Andrew Gregory for popping in and poking at David Rogers as he totally deserves. David, you screwed up. You done messed up, Ron.
So would Facebook, what do you call it? Censor you if you said "Bok, bok, bok, bok"?
Well, if you typed it out,
Yeah,
probably not.
Well, you called him a chicken just a little bit ago, so don't put this on Facebook.
No, I mean,
like
Facebook doesn't do voice to text of YouTube videos.
Oh.
YouTube does, but YouTube doesn't have any problem with you calling somebody a chicken. So, different social media platforms, you have to be aware of their different AI garbage rules. So, let's see. BV says you should replay all your debates with a live chat so you can keep your old content relevant. So like do a what do you mean? Do a watch
Along of
like,
old ones?
Like, or just play it with, because a lot of them don't have the live chat that I have here, right? I like to put the live chat on screen. There are some older ones that are particularly good. But I watch it, I'm like, oh, the background was weird, or, I don't know, lighting was different, or microphone or camera sucked. Because this is a nice camera. And I used to just have a webcam. This camera right here that you don't see, this was the one I used before, and it's not very good. Here, you've probably seen it. You've been around a little. There you go. This camera. This one right here. Right? There's the appeal to authority fallacy. I should, like, when they do an appeal to authority, I should just, pop it up. There you go. Burden of proof. Incredulity. Straw man.
Yeah,
Anyway.
let them read it that way instead of just showing that there's a card.
Yeah. Anyway, okay. Well, people, thank you very much for joining. I'm working on a long video. Recorded one. I'm well into it. I got a lot more to do.
Is this one involving 180 volts?
It does not.
Oh,
That comes later. That comes
Or is
later.
this the fourth law of Flurf?
It's not that either. I'm not gonna say.
okay.
I'm not gonna say.
Man
So-
of mystery. Yeah.
Anyway, people, thanks a lot. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Here we go.
MC2, drop that beat.
All right. Let it flow. Let yourself go. So I know that is the tempo.
So, yeah, let's do this. So,
Let's do this. Yo, it's MC Toon, the debunking tycoon. I shatter flat earthers, make them face the moon. Your attempts are decent, but they'll swoon in the face of my logic like a deflated balloon.
Oh, MC2, the one to soon cartoons. On the real say, send the flirts to their views. Your theories are like old brews, sweeping ignorance or just spreading the views.
FDFB stands for fumbling the facts, evidently. I drop truth bombs so splendidly. Your approach is soft, mine's unrelenting. I bring the science while you're just venting.
MC2, the buffoon with silver spoons. I tackle pseudoscience, make them change their tune. You're the sidekick, I'm the room. When it comes to debunking, I'm the room.
To the dizzle, in the rizzle dizzle. But hey, FDFB, we share the creed to educate and debunk the plant the seed. Though in this rap, it's clear indeed I've got the upper hand in word and deed. All right, hold on a second. The Zoom call died. Everything died. No.